Hey everyone, it's Reed. I'm out here starting a charcoal fire so I can make and grill myself some tasty hamburgers. But then it occurred to me, you know what? Let's use this as a real good metaphor to get a point across and explain something about the amazingly bad coronavirus or the pandemic going on. You're wondering, hey Reed, okay, hamburgers, grilling, chimney starter, charcoal. What the heck does that have to do with the pandemic and all the world crisis? Well, let's explain this. So let's say down here, this is the raging fire of China, and it's infecting, flowing up and infecting and go up there. And the question is I tell you, there's a big open flame of fire in there, combusting away. So like that, we can't see it, all right? We don't know. We don't know for certain, but everyone is telling you it's absolutely there, Reed. Everyone's saying, hey, the media, get ready. Gotta wear masks. Gotta protect yourself. This virus is gonna kill us all. We're hearing that constantly. Crazy, right? But we don't see it, right? Well, how can we tell that there's a real fire in there if we can't see it, can't look in it, can't poke at it? Secondary characteristics or indirect measurements, either way you want to say it. Depends on, what sort of group you're working for that uses what terminology. We could feel, is it hot? Is it real hot and stuff like that? Well, that's an indicator something is in there. Could be a fire. Could be an exothermic reaction. Could be that maybe, it's just hot from the sun being on it. Could be all sorts of things. Okay. Well, what about, do we have soot? If I put my hand up here, we're going to collect soot and stuff on my hand. Sniff it. Does it smell like, fire? Well, okay, I got smell of fire and stuff like that. That's real good. If I look through the bottom and look up at the top, can I see glowing coals or something? Let's see. Can we see anything? Let's see here. Yeah, there's some glowing back in there. I see some stuff. Okay, so that's another characteristic, of indication of fire. We got a good sense there on that, Okay, so we have soot, we got heat, and we got glow. Yeah, fire, right? Well, let's take a look. Let's see if we can see down there. No, we got smoke. And so that's part of the thing is, there is probably a good chance of fire in there, but not yet. The thing I'm trying to point out here is secondary characteristics can tell you a lot about what's really going on, and they can tell you sort of what's coming, what's not coming, and the present condition of everything. So right here, we got coals down here on the bottom, right? There's a lot of heat right here, but it drops off real fast up here. We have just smoldering on the top and such. So even though, we know from just looking, there's not direct fire, what we can say is it's spreading, is going up and growing, right? Okay, now let me bring this back to the pandemic. So with the media and everything else telling us, it's the end of the world, everything's coming apart, get ready. You saw all those prepping channels out there. You're gonna die, get your mask, get ready. The end is nigh, Well, so you get all that stuff. You have all those people telling you all this crazy stuff and all the things. How do you know? If you are not, a virologist working in the labs and everything else like that, how do you know what's true? Secondary characteristics. What sort of indicators can we find? All right. So if we got bodies piling up everywhere, this is super deadly, super dangerous and everything like that. All right. Some of the things we would expect. Okay. We would see a large run on body bags. Morgues would be filling up. Bodies would be piling up. They'd be stacking everywhere like that. Aside from rumors, that did not happen. And aside from people saying, oh, there's mass graves, they're piling them up in New York and, having to bury them in this giant mass grave. That mass grave they showed, that's a mass grave from a standard procedure that happens out there. In fact, I'll probably dig up the link where they talk about that's a standard operating procedure. But we don't have bodies stacking up everywhere. They just were not doing it. I checked around my area, didn't see anything like that. Okay, what else? Giant run on masks, personal protective equipment, and everything else like that. Oh, we did see that. We for sure saw that. We saw China divert resources from the U.S. and hold it for their own, even though it was produced by U.S. companies and was supposed to come here. No, they seized it and used it for themselves. Shows a critical supply chain vulnerability. But we did see a big issue on masks. However, was there a secondary explanation for that? An alternative for why we saw that? Like I said, like here we can feel heat, but could it be from something else? One of those things to ask. Well, why else could we saw a massive run on all those masks and everything? Because people panicked. Easy explanation, the alternative. People panicked, and there was a massive surge of buying. And people, I also mean the governments panicked. They were like, what the heck? What do we got to do? And they just flipped out and went nuts. And so we definitely saw that. That was a big issue there. Now, what else could help tell us about what's going on? Policy. Okay. Policy is a real interesting thing. And particularly now, after the George Floyd event, we have much more interesting things. Funny how it's super dangerous, super deadly, and everything else. So we have to shut everything down and be safe and keep masks on, have all these policy in place. But it's not so dangerous that they said you could go out, protest, march, and do all this other stuff. If it was really, really, really deadly, like this thing was wiping people out, double digits, super, super dangerous. It's so dangerous we have to deny people their income. We got to lock everything down, seal off areas, prevent people from working, providing for themselves, having them go starving hungry. It was that dangerous, but yet we'll send all these people out there to go protest. They feared the mob more than they feared the virus. That tells you a great, great deal. That even the people that are out there making policy, making decisions, know the virus was not nearly as dangerous as they claimed. All right? And there's been people out there actually who were initially afraid like that. I've seen people leave comments now and talking to other people in my personal relationships that I know here who were originally worried, and then they found out they didn't know anyone who got it. They didn't know anyone who died from it. And then when they talk to healthcare providers, they've barely had interactions. In fact, in my last video, Pennsylvania Prepper, who's got a good channel, go check it out. Link will be up here. She mentioned that, she went to the hospital talking with someone, and the nurse told her, yeah, they haven't seen any. Zero. No. Dealing with the horrible My Sharona Cyrus going on. So, yeah, you kind of see those anecdotal things come up, and they start to disprove things, start to tell you a lot. But the secondary characteristics, the indicators, the other pieces that you can't see saying, oh no, the end is nigh, they weren't there. It was a whole lot of smoke. I hope this gets you to think about things, and when you hear these claims, think about what supports this, what indicates this, how can we get a better picture, and use the whole picture and the evidence to know what you're really dealing with. Go check out Steve at Corsair Trainers. He talks about this sort of thing. It's an important topic, and he presents it from another tactical point. That you use the evidence at hand to assess the threats and make the best decision. And it's a very important thing to consider. So go watch Steve's videos. Highly recommended. Take care, everyone. This is Reed, out for now.